What was that? We just lost to Jonathan Gannon's 3-win Cardinals at home with NFC East control on the line. I've been catching a lot of heat this week for how I wanted Detroit to lose that game against Dallas. Today's outcome does not change the fact that yesterday a Cowboys win was the best case scenario for the Eagles because it gave us control of our own destiny for that number 2 seed. But the caveat to that was that you had to win out. You could not make any mistakes. And what did the Eagles do today? They drop a 35-31 decision at Lincoln Financial Field in front of our home crowd to the lowly Arizona Cardinals, led by our good old buddy Jonathan Gannon. I I want to like start shouting and screaming, but it's like I don't even have the energy. I don't even have the energy. I'm just so fed up with this team. This defense, oh good lord, this defense. This was one of our worst defensive performances of the entire season. This is like on pair with that 49ers disaster, which was also at the link. The Arizona Cardinals ran the ball on us into oblivion. We could not stop the run today, ladies and gentlemen. The Arizona Cardinals steamrolled us running the ball. They had 449 total yards of offense. 221 of that came on the ground. James Conner killed us, had a huge day. That other running back, he went off too. They could not stop the run. The Eagles once had the best run defense in the league by a lot. By a lot. It was like right around the time we played Buffalo, like right after we beat Kansas City. I believe we were the very top team in run defense. Our run defense has been exposed. I really did not think teams would run the ball on us like this. You have Jalen Carter, you have Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, these big guys. How are these teams running the ball on us like this? How is James Conner just absolutely ramaging right through the Eagles defense like this? How are teams just running right through us? I don't get it. Just even though we were up 21-6 at halftime, even though we had that 99-yard pick six by Sidney Brown, the Cardinals dominated this game from basically start to finish. All game long, they were moving the ball very well. They had certain miscues in that first half, but the Arizona Cardinals, their offense was humming today. Like 449 yards. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That offense was humming. That halftime score, it's because there was a play by Milton Williams getting the sack on Kyler Murray, and then of course the pick six. But that halftime score, it really didn't reflect how the Cardinals were really just outplaying the Eagles. The time of possession difference was ridiculous in this game. They had the ball for almost 40 minutes. The Cardinals offense controlled the ball for like 40 minutes of this game. That is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that your defense is on the field that much. The second quarter, I don't think we touched the ball until right before halftime. The Cardinals pretty much had the ball almost the entire second quarter. I it's just this game, I cannot believe that we lost this game. The Seahawks game, I wasn't surprised about that. It was the Seattle Seahawks. We lost 7 in a row to them before this point. I was not surprised that we dropped that game to them. But this Arizona Cardinals game, this was an inexcusable loss. This team had 3 wins. I get that they play hard with teams, but that's usually in the first half, and then by the second half they check out. But they didn't check out today. This Cardinals team in the second half, this was like what, 2008 Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald? It looked like that Cardinals team. I just This is a big problem, this defense, man. This defense can't stop anybody. They said on a broadcast that this is the Eagles' worst third down defense in franchise history. They cannot stop people on third down. They can't stop anybody on third down. Kyler Murray completed a ridiculous percentage of his passes this game. Pass rush was not getting to him. It's not just the secondary. It's not Our secondary is bad. Our secondary is getting torched, but this pass rush has to be better. They are not getting pressure on the quarterback. This defensive line is not getting enough heat on these quarterbacks. That is a huge issue. I get that you lost Javon Hargrave, but the fall off from last year should not be this extreme. It should not be this extreme. You had 70 sacks last year. You were 2 short of the all-time record. And then you lose Javon Hargrave to the Niners. Okay. But pretty much you have everybody else from last year. Certain others like Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, they're not here. But the fall off should not be this great. They have the Eagles have legit the worst sack percentage on third down in the league, in the whole league. This Cardinals offense, I cannot believe how bad this defense got torched. This defense really stinks. It stinks. This defense is a huge problem. It's a huge issue. And it's not all on the defense. Like, okay, so the game, I believe, was 28-28. The Cardinals had just scored because once again their offense was absolutely destroying our defense. And then Jonathan Gannon goes for an onside kick. That was a genius move by Jonathan Gannon. That was genius of Jonathan Gannon because at that point the game was tied. It was like what, like 4 minutes left, like 4 minutes 28 seconds left. Gannon went for the onside kick because even if he didn't get it, he cut the field in half. He purposely gave us good field position because he knew that we would score quickly, either by touchdown or field goal, and he knew that his offense would get the ball back and they would go down and score. Jonathan Gannon's onside kick call was brilliant. He cut the field in half. He purposely gave us good field position because the fact that we were in good field position, that meant that we were going to score much faster than we would have otherwise if he had just done a normal kickoff. And then that means that the Cardinals would have had enough time to go down the field and score. Like, honestly, like that was one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen Gannon do. Why not go for the onside kick? You know that the Eagles defense can't stop you. You know that the Eagles defense can't stop you. And then this is where my ire comes at the offense. On that drive after the onside kick, on 1st and 20, what does Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson dial up? What do their playbook have in store for us? They call a quarterback run on 1st and 20. Unsurprisingly, didn't go well. The second down play, like what was it? Like was it 2nd and 20? Like 2nd and 17? 2nd and ridiculously long. We call another quarterback run. They are playing for a field goal. Why are you playing for a field goal at this point in the game with like 4 minutes left, knowing that your defense has been shredded all day long? Why are you playing for a field goal knowing that your defense can't stop anything? He goes super conservative. Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson go super conservative with this offensive play calling, and they know that their defense can't do anything. You're playing for a field goal. Dude, have you seen your defense? Have you seen your defense? You are getting gashed by the run. You've allowed 28 points. So the second and long play, another quarterback run, that doesn't go well either. And then on 3rd and 16, we call a bubble screen to Kenneth Gainwell. What is wrong with these play calls? What is wrong with this offensive? I am done with this offensive play calling. I almost want to fire Nick Sirianni at this point. I'm almost at that point. Like, this offensive play calling all season long, dating back to week 1 against the New England Patriots, it has been atrocious. It has been atrocious, man. This offensive play calling stinks. What is wrong with this head coach and offensive coordinator? Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson, what is wrong with you guys? Do you have a feel for the game? Why are you playing so conservative knowing that the Arizona Cardinals have been moving the ball on you at will all day long? Why are you playing for a field goal? That 1st and 20 play, that 2nd and long play, those are play calls, the 3rd and 16. The first down play, the second down, all 3 plays. That is you playing for a field goal. That is being conservative. But you're being conservative knowing that your defense stinks. 3rd and 16, the best thing you could dial up is a freaking bubble screen to Kenneth Gainwell. In fact, so another thing, we were almost out of the 3rd quarter. It was like 1 minute and 37 seconds left when they posted this, I believe. We had only run 9 running plays. We had only tried to run the ball 9 times with like 1 minute and 37 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. That is almost 3 quarters of football. That is almost 3 full quarters of football with just 9 attempts running the ball. It is the same crap every week. It is the same crap every week. Why do they refuse to use DeAndre Swift? Why do they refuse to run the ball until it's too late? Why do they refuse to run the ball until it's well late into the game when they should have been doing it ages ago? It is the same crap. I'm a broken record. I'm a broken record. I'm saying the same stuff every week. I am saying the same exact crap every week. Every week. So after that disastrous 3 and out, well, it wasn't 3 and out. After that disastrous 3 plays, that span of 3 ridiculous plays where you played super conservative, we kick a field goal, and nobody on the sideline was happy after Jake Elliott kicked that field goal to go up 31-28. You look at the sideline of the Eagles, like they were not happy because they knew that the Cardinals were going to go down the field and score a touchdown, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. In fact, so Cardinal number 83, Kyler Murray hits Cardinal number 83, Dortch, whatever that guy's name, for a big game. So when that play started, it was like 1 minute 21 seconds, I believe. He gets this big game, Dortch, number 83, Cardinal 83, and our guy tackles him at the 5-yard line. Let him score. Do you not have a feel for the game? Let him score. Why are you tackling him at the 5-yard line? Let him score so you have enough time on the clock to possibly respond. Why are you tackling him at the 5-yard line? He's going to score a touchdown anyway. He's going to score anyway. Why did you tackle him at the 5-yard line instead of letting him score so you could save more time on the clock? Why? Why? This was an inexcusable loss. Inexcusable. The Jets game, the Jets have an extremely good defense. They had 4 turnovers on us. They forced 4 turnovers off us in that game. The Jets defense is stout. They beat us. You lose to the Niners, that's one of the top teams in the NFL, top 2 team, I'd say, behind the Ravens. You lose to the Dallas Cowboys, division rival, AT&T Stadium, a place you haven't won since 2017. You lose to the Seattle Seahawks, who have routinely owned you. They had lost 7 in a row to the Seahawks before this. But you lose to this 3-win Arizona Cardinals team. They had only won 3 games all year. They had only won 3 games all year, and you let this team walk into Philadelphia. You let Jonathan Gannon, our hated enemy, get his revenge. I can't stand Jonathan Gannon. I see him as the reason we lost the Super Bowl last year. His defense didn't make any adjustments in the second half. They didn't get a single stop in the second half. The defense, the Arizona Cardinals did not punt today. They didn't punt a single time. They did not punt a single time today. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is insanity. This is insanity. This is the same crap every week. This was just like the Giants on Christmas Day. You come out to a 20-3 lead at halftime. You fumble the opening kickoff of the second half. The Giants pull within 2 points, 20-18. You escaped that one, but this game you're up 21-6. You're up 21-6 at halftime. And then you let them come all the way back, tie the game 21-21. You move ahead again, they tie it again. It was just like the Christmas game, except we didn't win. We did not win this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we basically just choked the division away to the Dallas Cowboys. Because the only way the Eagles win the NFC East now is if we beat the Giants. And honestly, can you say that with the way this team is playing? Can you say we beat the New York Giants next week? We would have to beat the Giants, and the Cowboys would have to lose to Washington. I do not believe the Cowboys are losing to Washington. I don't believe that. It looks like we're going to be the 5th seed. This is one of the worst collapses in Philadelphia Eagles history. In 1994, under head coach Rich Kotite, that team started 7-2. That included a 40-8 blowout victory over the eventual Super Bowl champion 49ers at Candlestick Park, by the way. I think that was the Charlie Garner game. That team started 7-2, and then they ended up finishing 7-9. They lost 7 straight games to end the year. This 2023 Eagles team, this is similar to that 1994 collapse with Rich Kotite. You were 10-1. This team was 10-1 at one point. And then we went 1-4 in the next 5 games. 1-4 in the next 5 games after starting 10-1. We're about to be the fifth seed. In all likelihood, we are about to be the fifth seed. We basically had the division guaranteed, and we blew it. I do not believe the Cowboys are losing to Washington next week. I don't. Could it happen? Maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't bank on that. It's most likely that we are going to be the fifth seed, and we are going to be going on the road in the playoffs. We won't have a home playoff game. We will be going to either Tampa Bay or New Orleans. New Orleans did beat Tampa Bay today, so it's going to be interesting how that NFC South division turns out. But it's going to be one of those two, most likely. It's going to be the Eagles as the fifth seed going to Tampa Bay or New Orleans. You're 10-1. You were 2 games up for first place in the NFC. You get destroyed by the Niners, and you just have not been the same since. You have not been the same since. I am greatly, greatly disappointed in this coaching staff. Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson, Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia, I actually commended your work against Seattle. I commended your work against the Seahawks in your first game, calling the plays. Now, the Giants game was a little more hairy than that, but I thought still overall you were doing a very decent job. But this game today, you lost to the 3-win Cardinals at home. The Cardinals. They had only won 3 games all year. I've been watching a lot of their games. They play hard in the first half. They tend to hang with teams that are significantly better than them, like the 49ers. But they usually check out by the second half. The second half Cardinals that I saw today, that looked like a Super Bowl caliber team. We could not stop them. We could not stop them all day. That tight end McBride, like Connor, McBride, Dortch, the other running back whose name I can't remember. This offense completely shattered the Eagles today. I really wanted to get back at Jonathan Gannon for his freaking defense in the second half of that Super Bowl. I really wanted to get back at him. But Jonathan Gannon prevails in his visit to Philadelphia. In his return to Philadelphia, Jonathan Gannon prevails and he deals the Eagles a lethal blow in our seeding chase. I'm not even sure we could beat a second seed now because honestly, even if we had the scenario that we beat the Giants and the Cowboys were to lose to Washington, even if that happened, wouldn't the Lions get the second seed? Because I doubt the Lions are going to lose next week. They get the Vikings in Detroit. The Vikings dumpster fire quarterback situation. You really think that they're going to beat the Lions in Detroit? You really think that the Lions are going to lose to the Vikings in Detroit? I don't. Do you guys think that? I do not believe that at all. Minnesota's quarterback situation is so messy right now that I do not see them beating the Detroit Lions next week. If they had Kirk Cousins, I could see it. If Kirk Cousins was still playing, then yeah, I could actually see that. But with Nick Mullins or Josh Dobbs at quarterback, no. The Eagles, they really committed a brutal miscue today, losing this game to the Arizona Cardinals. You had the division basically locked up, and then you blow this game at home to a 3-win team. Not good. Take care, everybody. Go Birds.